Clive Davis is dead, and only weeks after his funeral, the names he spent his whole life hiding are already spilling out into the open. Jaguar Wright says she has the real list of people who slept their way through Clive Davis's private parties just to get famous. And one of those names is now tied straight into the Diddy HIV and STD scare that is blowing up your feed right now. Stick with me, because in the next few minutes, you are going to hear every single name Jaguar called out, why she says it matters, and why people online think this story is only getting started. Now, before we get into the actual names, you need a little quick background so all of this makes sense once we get moving. So remember, Clive Davis started his career running Columbia Records back in the late 1960s, then went on to found his own label, Arista Records, in the 1970s. Along the way, he discovered Whitney Houston when she was still a teenager and helped shape her into one of the biggest voices of her entire generation. Now, Clive kept his personal world completely locked away from cameras and interviews. Then, at 80 years old, he finally sat down and wrote a memoir and told the world he was bisexual. He explained that it happened after his second marriage failed in the mid-1980s, and that he chose to open himself up to the possibility of being with a man, alongside the 2 marriages he had already had with women before that. He said it was private, and that is exactly why he waited so long before saying anything about it publicly at all.
I've been surprised, honestly, but firstly, from my family, from my children who've known, this wasn't that I was bisexual when I was married. This is something that only occurred after my second marriage failed. So for the first time, having failed in marriage twice, not related at all to sex, I opened myself up to the possibility of having a relationship with a person rather than a gender.
Let's start with the very first name Jaguar drops, and it is a big one: Diddy. She claims Clive Davis's early meetings with him were never just about music deals sitting across a table. She says they were about access, control, and learning exactly how the industry really moves behind the scenes, away from cameras and away from contracts. Word is, those meetings were often caught on camera without either of them fully realizing it. And this exact connection between Clive and Diddy even came up on the Valuetainment podcast with Patrick Bet-David, where the 2 hosts sat down and broke apart just how close these 2 men actually were behind the public image.
Davis's name kept coming up because there was rumors and allegations, allegations suggesting that there was a sexual relationship between Clive Davis and Sean Diddy. All rumors, because mind you, in 1993, Puffy was fired from Uptown Records and he started Bad Boy Entertainment, but he needed the money. Clive Davis, head of Arista Records, saw the potential and went 50-50 joint venture, but the rumors are that they had some type of hooking up with each other. I mean, dude, that guy just looks very, very sus in general. And Clive Davis publicly came out as bisexual in 2013 in his memoir, The Soundtrack of My Life, where he discussed his relationship with both men and women, but didn't involve or mention anybody's name.
That kind of connection matters because it sets the tone for everything else in this video. Once you understand how close these 2 men actually were, the rest of the names on this list start to make a lot more sense. Diddy did not just show up in the music industry out of nowhere. He learned how to move, how to build power, and how to keep people close to him, straight from the man who was mentoring him early on. And here's something that makes this whole thing even stranger. One time, a paparazzi photographer walked right up to Clive Davis in public and asked him, straight to his face, what his real connection to Diddy actually was. Clive did not answer the question at all. He just ignored it completely, brushing right past it, almost like it was something he never, ever wanted to talk about on camera.
A lot of people are curious about the status of P. Diddy.
Status of what?
P. Diddy. Diddy. What do you make of that situation? No comment from Clive Davis.
The next name hits a lot closer to home for most people watching this: Whitney Houston. Jaguar has said for years that Clive controlled almost every single part of Whitney's career. Her music, her public image, even pieces of her personal life outside the recording studio. Jaguar calls it a gilded cage, which basically means it looked beautiful from the outside, shiny and perfect for the cameras, but Whitney was trapped inside the whole time, unable to fully live her own life the way she wanted to. And here's the detail that really gets people talking every single time this topic comes back up online. Jaguar claims that Whitney and Clive got into a serious fight just 2 days before Whitney passed away in that hotel room.
A new biopic of Whitney Houston coming out.
Film to celebrate Whitney Houston. This is a film to, pay the pipe. You want to know what Clive Davis did for Whitney Houston? People forget, before she came to the United States, he sent her on an international tour. She had to use auto-tune to sing because her lungs were so jacked up from all the smoking. She smoked 3 packs of Newports a day and still could sing like that. When they did her autopsy, they said there was nothing wrong with her throat. Her lungs were so damaged that she couldn't fuel the notes. And it's Grammy time.
Yeah.
And her and Clive had a fight 2 days before. And then the next thing you know, she's dead. Ray J was the last person to see her alive. He let the drug dealer in, but she was sober, right? But he let the drug dealer in that gave her the shot. Leola has said.
Think about that for a second. Just 2 days. That is such a short window of time between the two of them fighting and Whitney's death. And it is exactly why people keep bringing this specific claim back up over and over again. Every single time Clive Davis's name comes up anywhere in the news. Whitney was one of the biggest stars on the entire planet at that point in her life. And yet Jaguar's claim paints a picture of someone who still did not have full control over her own career or her own choices. That is the exact kind of detail that makes people stop scrolling and start paying attention. Now let's talk about Alicia Keys for a moment. Jaguar claims that Alicia's early rise up the charts was pushed hard through the Clive Davis and Jay-Z network, allowing her to skip past struggles that most brand new artists usually go through for years before they ever get a real shot. It is easy to look at someone's overnight success story and just assume it happened completely on its own. But Jaguar's whole point here is simple. A lot of those overnight success stories actually have serious backing working quietly behind the curtain the entire time. And Alicia's story is one Jaguar brings up often when she talks about how the industry really works.
So what are your thoughts on all the his celebrity friends that denounced those allegations and were like, this is false, and they were saying, should they speak up now?
Getting a little too late for those who are complicit. Stevie J should be charged. Mary J. Blige should also be charged. Jennifer Lopez should definitely be charged. Jay-Z should be charged. Khaled should be charged. Rick Ross should be charged. Usher should be charged and tried with him off of Justin Bieber alone.
And once you start looking at Whitney, Alicia, and everyone else through this lens, you start to notice the same shape repeating itself. A young artist with real talent, a powerful man willing to open doors, and a career that moves faster than it probably should, with almost nobody asking questions at the time. Jaguar also points back to the 1990s, when she claims young male R&B singers faced real, direct pressure from industry executives. Pressure to go along with personal favors just to get their songs played on the radio and pushed out to the public. One name she keeps bringing up again and again is Tevin Campbell, a young singer with genuine, rare talent whose career got tightly controlled early on, and then quietly fell apart before he ever hit his full potential in the industry. Then there is Usher. At just 13 years old, Usher was sent to go live with Diddy at something that was actually called Flavor Camp, an environment that was reportedly financed through the very same Arista system that Clive Davis was running at the time. Sit with that for a second. A 13-year-old kid living under the roof of a grown man, inside an environment that was built and paid for by people sitting at the very top of the music industry. What makes this part of the story so hard to sit with is how normal it all looked from the outside at the time. Nobody was raising alarms back then. Cameras were rolling, interviews were happening, and everyone around these young artists acted like everything happening was completely fine. It is only years later, looking back with everything we know now, that people are starting to ask what was really going on behind those closed doors. This is where the whole story connects directly to something trending online right now. Back in 2017, Usher was sued by a woman who said he gave her herpes, and that he never told her he had it before the two of them were together. Now, fast forward to today, a TikTok influencer named Gina2 has been sharing her own story about living with HIV for years. She says she went almost 8 years without even knowing she had it, and by the time she finally went to the hospital, it had already advanced into AIDS. She has talked about losing muscle, dropping down to just 65 pounds, and even losing sight in one eye before she slowly started to recover. She says she caught it from a celebrity she still refuses to name in public for legal reasons. But the timing of her story lines up closely with the rumors swirling around Diddy right now, and a lot of people online have already started connecting those dots themselves without her even confirming a name. People have also pointed out something else worth noting here. During Diddy's trial, there was a lot of talk about bulk baby oil purchases used at his parties, but almost no mention at all of any protection being used during those same gatherings. If you put those two facts side by side, it becomes a lot easier to understand why so many people online are asking hard questions about all of this right now. It also raises a bigger question about everyone else on this list. If the man at the very top of the industry could keep something this personal hidden from the entire world for decades, how much easier would it be for the people working underneath him to do the exact same thing? Now here is something that circles all the way back to Clive Davis himself. In his own memoir, he admitted to a 14-year relationship with a man he never named publicly, describing him only as a doctor. He also said he has been with a second partner, also unnamed, since 2004. Sit with that for a second. Even the man running one of the biggest record labels in the entire world managed to keep parts of his own personal life locked away from the public eye for decades at a time. If he could hide something that personal for that long, it makes you wonder what else might have stayed hidden the entire time, right alongside it. Here is something that happened well before Clive Davis even passed away, and it is worth pointing out clearly. Jaguar had already gone public before his death, saying she was afraid of him and that she was genuinely worried about what he, or people connected to him, might do to her simply for speaking out about what she claims she witnessed.
If you were to come up missing and dead, who did it? Tell us.
Can't tell you who done it. I can tell you who wanted it, and it will most definitely be Clive Davis.
So you think Clive is looking for it?
Oh, I know he's looking for it. I know he's worried about me, and he should be.
Why?
He should be very worried about me.
Why?
Because I know things about him. He don't want nobody. I know things he done, and it's hurt people that I love.
Like what?
You know, what I will say is this. When you're the kind of manager that would pay your client to be quiet about a rape to save a tour, and then nuke their career, tell everyone that they're crazy, and ostracize them because they disagreed with being quiet about it. When you're that kind of person that employs the same group of dealers that you've been working with for the past 25 years, and out of nowhere, people just keep dying of drug overdoses. You know, it kind of pisses me off that all of these artists have died from drug overdoses and nobody really bothered to take the time to look at the toxicology reports. See, all rock stars are addicts and alcoholics anyway, so why bother to do an extensive check? Easiest way to get rid of a difficult artist is because everyone will believe that they killed their selves.
So who did Clive Davis kill?
Oh, I can't tell you who he killed. I can tell you who he worked with that ended up dead.
Who? Besides Whitney?
Whitney Houston, Janis Joplin.
So you know for sure that Clive Davis killed Whitney and killed
I didn't say I knew anything for sure.
Okay.
What I am saying is that the same drug dealer that has showed up to service a lot of these entertainers that have died have very close ties to Clive Davis, and everyone knows it. He's always hanging out at the Ivy. He has a bad diet, drinks too much.
What's his name?
Everybody, I don't know.
You don't know his name?
I was drunk. I've seen him around, if you understand.
Now, being that you have had such a traumatic life, and
it would be easy for people to say that I'm crazy.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm not bipolar trying to play Kanye. I'm also brilliant, and I'm also in complete control of my faculties.
Okay.
See, I'm the most dangerous person that there is because I don't give a if they kill me.
That is not something most people usually say about someone unless they truly believe there is something serious sitting behind it. And here's the part that really gets people talking the most out of everything in this whole story. Every single name Jaguar has mentioned, Diddy, people connected to Whitney Houston's estate, Alicia Keys, and everyone else on this list, has stayed almost completely silent since these claims first went public. These are the exact same stars who usually jump to deny basic, everyday rumors within hours of them coming out online. But when it comes to Jaguar's specific claims about Clive Davis and his parties, nobody involved has said a single word in response.
Clive Davis put Sean Combs in position. That's what Clive Davis does. The amount of abuse that Janis Joplin suffered when she wanted to leave Clive Davis management. The amount of abuse Whitney Houston suffered when she was ready to write her book. And then all of the abuses that she suffered. You know, Luther Vandross? It was nasty work, Clive. Swinging it at Jay-Z's knees. I'm swinging it at Clive Davis's knees. And I'm swinging it at anybody else's knees who has had anything to do with this tyranny, with this evil.
Do you think Jaguar Wright is completely done talking? Or do you believe there are even more names still coming, now that Clive Davis is gone for good? I really want to know.